Well, welcome to another Henrico's Environmental Action Resource Team podcast. I'm Jeff Weidel, and I'm with the Public Relations Department, and we are here to talk about something that it's kind of an irritant in some people's lives, and some people might even just consider that it just kind of bites. But anyway, we'll get into that. So I have some guests here today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you all.
Thanks
so
for having us.
First of all, I have Gina Surge, and she is a environmental vector management specialist 2. Mm-hmm. And then I have Wes Robertson, who is environmental vector management specialist 3. And their whole thing is they work in public works, and their whole thing is to talk about mosquitoes and try to make us more comfortable. And so again, thank you for coming out today to talk about this good stuff. People may be wondering, how does this connect with the H.E.A.R.T committee? Well, the H.E.A.R.T committee, one of the things that we really want to try to do is to get people out in the community to be more active, to enjoy the environment. And so it's healthy for your mind, healthy for your body. But the issue is, if there's mosquitoes out there, it may make it more difficult. So that's kind of the tie-in. So tell me all a little bit about what you do.
Our job is to try and make Henrico a more enjoyable place outdoors by protecting public health as well as mitigating human discomfort from mosquitoes.
Right. And so, Wes, how do you all go about, and one of the big things that we do with the outreach committee is to inform the community about what we do and what the county does. So tell me about some of the efforts that you all do to educate the community about this situation.
Sure. So one of our keystones to our program is residential inspections. So any member of Henrico County has the ability as a resident to call our department or send us an electronic request for a free mosquito inspection.
Right.
And what that entails essentially is us going out, looking at their property, and then the key part of that is having a discussion with each resident, educating them on site about their mosquito problem. And by doing that, we're able to pinpoint which particular species of mosquitoes they have on their property, where they're coming from, importantly, and then how they can be best served getting rid of those mosquitoes on their property.
Right.
And so we like to focus on it as a source problem,
right,
as opposed to wait until they're an adult problem.
Right. So Gina, one of the things it's on my mind is how much of this campaign, I would say, to mitigate mosquitoes, how much is it involved with the individual resident versus county getting involved, or is it a team approach?
We really want to approach it like a team approach. Mm-hmm. We are a fairly small department of full-time employees.
Right.
2/3 of us are here talking to you today, so we can't be in everybody's backyards at once.
Yep.
And we need our residents to get on board with us and help us get rid of mosquitoes, look around your backyard, dumping those potential sources for breeding, and that's going to help the community as a whole. We can, treat and take care of the county properties as best we can, but it's not going to help in your neighborhood where you're living if we don't have our residents on board to help us out.
Right. If I'm a resident and I want you all to come out and inspect my yard, what should I expect? What do you all do when you come out?
So the first thing we do is we have a discussion with you on the phone to see what your primary problem is. And by primary problem, we ask typical questions like, okay, well, what time of day are you receiving bites? What are you physically seeing? Are you seeing big, organisms, small organisms? Are they hovering near your back porch? Or are they far off somewhere in your yard? And then we get into logistics of their actual property. Do you have forests nearby? Do you live close to the wetlands or the Tuckahoe Swamp? Things like that. And once we ascertain that information, we then schedule and go out and conduct a physical inspection to make sure that we are addressing each location that they mentioned in their complaint, and then we look for standing water. However, a lot of times residents think that, we're going to just look at the big puddles that are standing on the yard or the creek or the stream or whatever. In actuality, we're looking for more of cryptic habitats. We look for habitats that produce a lot of mosquitoes that are generally very, very small and very hidden. That most citizens aren't aware they even have on their property. And once we find those habitats, we offer them a chance to learn about how they can continue to control that organism from the start of mosquito season, which is in April, all the way through the end of November, which is typically mosquito season starts to wane at the end of October. But if you continue that process through the end of November, you've kind of covered your bases for any stragglers that may occur. And so that's, in a nutshell, that's what we try to do with each inspection. We also provide them with a written report of those findings so that they have something that they can reference over the course of that time period where they're not, having to worry about, oh man, I need to write this down now, or I need to remember everything they said. And then we also offer the ability for them to continually call us and ask questions. Hey, I'm using this product. Is this the right product to use? Or should I be even using this for this problem? Or how can I do this without the use of products? So we offer that information, and then we also offer the ability to come back and conduct as many inspections as they need us to in order for us to find all of the sources for their problems.
Right. Now, Gina, you've brought a tool or a prop with you. Tell me
Yes.
about what you brought with us today.
So this is the technical term would be a dipper. That's just fancy for a cup on a stick. We use this for inspections as well as when we're out checking our roadside ditches and things of that nature to check for mosquito larvae. So we can use this to just dip in the water and see if there are any larvae, because sometimes it's not easy to see that from a standing position. And even when you get down close, they're very good at avoiding you. Shadows they'll swim away from. So using a somewhat specialized technique, we use our dipper to check for larvae in standing water to know if it is truly a breeding source.
Right. Now, I noticed that you've brought a miniature one for Stuart. So is he
Yes.
is he now been deputized as a mosquito hunter?
Absolutely. We want all the help we can get.
So one of the things also that you and I, the two of you all had told me about before this program is that you all try to be as eco-friendly as possible.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about that, Gina?
Yeah, absolutely. Henrico County does not do any adulticide spraying. We do not do any fogging, aerial spraying, ultra-low volume of any kind. You may see us out with a truck-mounted sprayer, but rest assured that is a liquid larvicide sprayer that's spraying liquid into roadside ditches.
Yeah.
The only treatment that we do besides source reduction, which is what Wes was talking about with our inspections, is using a BTI-based product, much like our mosquito bits. We brought a sample here that you can buy commercially. We use a little bit stronger industrial strength because we're certified applicators. But it's safe for people, plants, and pets. It's derived from a bacteria that's naturally found in soil. It is only toxic to mosquito, fungus gnat, and black fly larvae in the larval form. So it must be applied to water, can't be applied to dry land.
Right.
And then it must be ingested by the larva for it to be effective. And again, like we said, we don't do any adulticide spraying, and we really focus on that source reduction as far as that is concerned. And we only use chemical treatment if we find a source that can't be drained or dumped.
Right. Now, Wes, why be concerned about mosquitoes? Why I don't want to use the word obsessed or focused, but why are we attempting to lower the population of mosquitoes?
Right. Well, if you ask, the majority of residents, they're going to say because of the disturbance they cause, the nuisance problem, or the discomfort they cause. But from our perspective, it comes down to public health and safety. We are very concerned with the transmission of West Nile virus here in Henrico County, among other what are known as arboviral diseases, so any kind of arthropod-borne disease. And we want to make sure that even though it's circulating in mosquito populations locally, that doesn't result in human transmission.
Right.
So in order to do that, we have a surveillance and monitoring program that we incorporate as part of our system. And then we also do testing for West Nile, which allows us to look at multiple sites throughout the county, and then allows us to analyze that information and make sure that we are able to get our trucks out, get our boots on the ground, so to speak, before an incident occurs when we notice it in mosquito populations in certain areas of the county. So really we're trying to create a barrier or prevent the expansion of a disease from, like, say, an epicenter within mosquito populations. So that's,
but it is also a practical thing as far as people feeling that they can actually get out during mosquito season and enjoy the parks, enjoy the natural beauty, and again, to get a little more physically fit as we go.
Very true. And what we'd love to do there is make sure that we give them the confidence and the tools to do that themselves without having to use a chemical first. Part of the beauty of an integrated management program is that it doesn't focus on pesticide use. Pesticide use is indicated as a last resort. And most residents don't see it that way. When you're advertised control of mosquitoes, the first thing you think of usually is chemical control.
Right.
We want them to start thinking like, oh, well, what can I do to eliminate this problem without using those chemicals first?
Right. Gina, what's the number one thing that I can do as a resident to reduce the mosquitoes in my yard?
What we call pick a day to fight the bite. So that is our slogan and the point that we really want to drive home. Pick one day a week, make it the same day each week to make it a habit, to walk around your property, find all the things that could be holding standing water, paying special attention to the teeny, teeny, tiny little things. Mosquitoes only need 1/10 of an inch of water to lay eggs and develop. So think the size of a water bottle cap, a disposable water bottle cap. Find all of those items and dump it once a week. Flower pots, your drip trays in your flower pots, making sure you're replacing and changing out any bird baths you may have on site, trash, tarps, even little pockets in children's toys. Mosquitoes really do like those small hidden items because they know they're going to get forgotten. They're smart, believe it or not. Those little buggers are kind of smart, and they're going to look for that small stuff that's going to get forgotten. So kind of be your own mosquito investigator in your yard and try to find those items.
Right. So I used the word earlier, bite. Did they sting us or did they bite us?
Mosquitoes bite.
Really?
Mosquitoes do not have stingers, and actually only female mosquitoes bite.
Really?
They need the protein in your blood to form the casings on their eggs. Their eggs are going to be more successful in the environment if they've got that protein casing.
Right.
So males are actually pollinators. So they pollinate and they drink nectar. Okay. So well, they aren't all half bad, but they are half bad.
Right. So they are part of the ecosystem, and they also create. I guess really they do some good.
Yeah. So what's interesting is at multiple stages in their life too. Now they're not primarily responsible for doing one benefit to the environment, like some people, like to attribute to organisms. But as larvae, they do filter out debris in the water as well. Does that mean that we keep them as larvae? Probably not. You still want to eliminate them. But while they're there, they can serve some purpose, right? And they provide a food source, just like other organisms do for anything else that may prey on them. And then the males do some minor pollinating and things like that and provide another prey item at that level too. So they do serve some purposes. And believe it or not, people don't like to hear it, but in a natural setting, they provide for population control. That's their primary, mode of action there is they carry these diseases. They're going to carry them naturally, and they're going to transmit them into a more zoonotic cycle or natural cycle that allows them to pass that disease to thin out populations of organisms that might not get thinned out otherwise. Right.
Now, this is a audio-video podcast, but for the folks that are not able to see our podcast, there is something on the table that you brought with you that looks a little unusual. What do you have here?
So this is our mosquito headband. I don't know if it's going to fit on my head because it's usually made for children.
Right.
But one of our cornerstones of our program is education and outreach.
Right.
And part of that is you will see us with booths set up at different events across the county. We frequent Earth Day, Bug Bazaar in the fall, and National Night Out, Energy Fair, things of that nature. But
Right.
to try to spread our message a little further, we have implemented in the last year an elementary outreach program.
Okay.
So we have started coming to Henrico County elementary schools to give our Mighty Mosquito Mission elementary school presentation.
I like that.
That includes an anatomy lesson for the mosquito, a life cycle lesson, and then a habitat lesson. And then in the end, we have some worksheets for them, and then they each student gets to make their very own mosquito headband. And it's just colored pieces of paper with some mosquito eyes and a pipe cleaner antenna, and then we've made a mosquito proboscis here as well. And we like to make sure that we drive home that message that the proboscis is not the mosquito's nose, it is their
Right.
mouth parts. Mosquitoes do not sting, they bite. And that's kind of our signature craft at this point. And
That's cool.
this is our second year doing this program with the schools, and I think the kids are kind of looking forward to their headbands each year now because we've done a couple repeat schools now. And I've had a couple comments from students saying, "Oh, I remember when my brother did that last year. I was so excited!" To try to share our message with our youngest of county residents. Our program is geared for kindergarten through second grade, but if any teachers are listening and they'd like us to come to an older grade, just reach out and we can
Right.
adapt to older grades as well.
So the length of the proboscis has nothing to do with the honesty of the mosquito.
Not at all, unfortunately. Yep, it is.
Although I guess we could name it Pinocchio.
It could have a name, but
All righty. Well, speaking of information, is there any place, website or whatever, that people can go to get more information about your program and how to sign up?
there is a link to request an inspection. There's also our phone number that you can call and leave us a message, and we will get back to you for that. And then there's also an email address that people can email, and it will come to all of us within the division.
Great. And what phone number would people call to get signed up?
The phone number is 804-226-6453, and the email address is swi_info, info, @henrico.us.
Okay, great. Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right, very good. Well, we really appreciate you all coming out to discuss and share this information. One of the things I wanted to point out is that we are the H.E.A.R.T committee. If anybody wants to visit our website, it is henrico.us/H.E.A.R.T. And as Stuart likes to say, be good stewards of the environment and choose to reuse. So thanks for coming out, y'all.
Thank you so
Before
much.
we go, I need to give you all some Stewart stickers for showing up today.
Oh,
so we
wonderful.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, y'all take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having us.